Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. Today is, what is today?
The 18th.
The 18th, and this is our 6th meeting, Pasadena Area Community College Board of Trustees. Mr. Buckingham, can we please have the roll call?
Trustee Chin-Lau.
Here.
Trustee Filling.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Waugh.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Fellow.
Here.
7 trustees account.
Thank you very much. We are going to before we adjourn to closed session, do we have any comments for closed session?
We do. We have one public comment for closed session in the room, so I want to give him the right to read his letter directly. Mr. Chilingerian, would you care to read it yourself? Mr. Chilingerian, can you read it yourself, or would you like me to read it for you?
I'm sorry. You can go ahead and read it for me.
All right.
I'm not confident on my diction. Thank you very much.
That's okay. Thank you. All right. To the Board of Trustees. To open, I must remind the board of essential premise of the rejections to me, that I had only answered 3 of 5 problems on the exam, and that therefore I do not deserve a higher grade. However, one of those 5 was extra credit. Receiving credit for 3 of 4 or even 3 of 5 problems would have given me the necessary credit for my desired grade. If the flawed problems were omitted, then receiving credit for 1 of 2 remaining problems would have still given me the necessary credit. In my initial discussions, I did not bring up these crucial statistics because I assumed that they were very obvious to the dean and professor, and that discussion of their implicit rejection of it would come up more productively in later discussion, which was denied to me. In retrospect, I should have immediately demanded acknowledgement of these statistics, as they did not have the chance to come up later, and because by not explicitly mentioning them, they might have been overlooked in higher appeals. Academia is the pursuit of higher knowledge. It represents an open sharing of knowledge and then rigorous and good faith discussion and debate of views. It is by the failure of this that the issue has been prolonged. The dean had advertised the appeal's initial informal process as an opportunity to have an actual discussion with the professor who was not responding to emails. The professor chose to focus on just one problem in which he used inappropriate math. I pointed out the critical flaws of each of his assertions was justified. The professor and dean then cited that I had somehow not done an arbitrary minimum of problems, also cited their previous points, and then closed discussion. I protested that they had never even acknowledged the flaws in the points which they continued to cite, that they shouldn't count extra credit as required, and that there were many other problems with the exam that would affect the overall consideration. Instead of discussion, I was then forwarded the form for a higher grade appeal. When I again contacted the professor to make discussion on another part of the exam, I was finally given the solution to a problem. That solution was filled with flaws. Upon pointing out those flaws, the professor doubled down, and in doing so made explicit contradiction to the wording of the problem and other flaws. I pointed out these severe issues and requested further discussion. I received no reply. In academia, it is central to have rigorous and good faith discussion and debate of views. In non-discussion, this has not been given to me. Had it been, this issue would have been finished long ago. Signed, James Chilingerian, August 18th, 2021.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, we were going to read the agenda for closed session. Item number 1 would be Government Code 54957, Public Employee Appointment, Instructors, Architecture 1, Medical, Surgical Nursing 1, Registered Nursing 1, and Psychology 2. Agenda item number 2, Appeal by James Chillingham to Pasadena Area Community College Board of Trustees, Administrative Determination on his student grade appeal. Item number 3, Government Code 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiators. Government Code 54957, Evaluation of Employee Superintendent President. At this time, we will adjourn to closed session and we will reconvene at 5 or close to. At this time, we're going to close session.
Come on, I'm hitting the leave button and I can't leave. I'm trapped. Well, never had that problem before.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm wondering why this is Stacy Bradshaw speaking.
Hi.
I was scheduled to be a speaker today.
Yeah, the board takes 2 sections of public comment on non-agenda items. The first is at 4 o'clock for items on closed session. The second is at 5 o'clock for items on the main agenda.
Okay.
So my apologies if you meant to speak before closed session. I didn't know that, but we can catch you at 5.
No, I didn't understand the protocol. So I just wanted to make sure when everyone left that they're coming back.
They will be, yes.
Okay, thank you. Then you can ignore my voicemail. I just left you on your phone.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
While I have you, please take a look at the agenda. I can forward you the link and let me know if you want to speak on a particular agenda item or if your comment is meant for non-agenda items, just a general comment. Okay.
Okay, and right. So this was because the chat was disabled.
Mhm.
There was no way to communicate with you prior to this question now. So
No
All right,
problem.
yeah,
We're
if you
figuring
would,
it out.
if you would send me the agenda, I would greatly appreciate it.
Certainly. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to wait till the board go to closed session, and then we'll begin open session as soon as they're back. Thank you. Yep.
Bless you, Belinda.
Thank you. Seven, excellent. Everybody back? No? Where's our fierce leader? Are you here, Alex?
I'm here. Hello.
Okay. Okay, so we're at this time, we will reconvene from a regular closed session, and we have report of action is that the board deny the appeal of the student appeals. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Buckingham for the roll call, please.
Right. Student trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Here.
Trustee Osterling.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Waugh.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
There, I'm here, trying to find the mute button.
Trustee
I'm here.
Fellow.
Here.
Excellent. I would like to make clear for the record of this meeting, and it should be reflected in the minutes, that this Board of Trustees meeting is conducted pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953, as amended by Governor Gavin Newsom in Executive Order N2920, dated March 17th, 2020, and that all trustees are participating by remote video conference. I would now like to request that each trustee in turn respond to the following questions. I will start with Trustee Chen Lao. Trustee Chen Lao, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Were you able to hear our proceedings up until now?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the agenda for this meeting?
Yes.
Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Brown respond to the same questions. Trustee
Yes.
Brown, can you?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Silver respond to the same questions.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Waugh respond to the same questions.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Martin respond to the same questions.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Osterling respond to the same questions.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Next, I'd like to request that Trustee Fellow respond to the same questions.
Yes, yes, yes.
I would like to request that Student Trustee Gomez respond to the same questions.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you. I would now like to ask that any member of the Board of Trustees speak up at this time if they have not been able to clearly hear any trustee. Hearing no comment, the record should reflect that all trustees present have indicated that they were able to hear all other trustees clearly. I would next request that any trustee speak up at this time if such trustee has any reason to believe, based on voice recognition or otherwise, that any person representing themselves to be a certain trustee is not truly so. Hearing no comment, the record should reflect that no trustee has expressed doubt that any trustees are the parties participating in the teleconference. I would now like to advise the trustees and the public that any votes taken during the remote conference portion of this meeting must be taken by roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckenheim. At this time, we will have our land acknowledgement. Can we put it up, please? Do we have the land acknowledgement? No? Yes, thank you. Thank you. Pasadena College, Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino, band of Mission Indians of the Sisitscanoga village and Kits Nation. Tonight we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. Let us take a moment of silence in honor of the important contribution of the stewards of this land who came before us. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This land acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to be in good relationship with the people of the land and embodying equity of our practices and policies. Thank you. At this time, we would like to ask if Trustee Fellow would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, a nation under God.
And
What's wrong with me? I pledge allegiance to the United States of America
and to the land.
and to the land. God, I'm sorry.
Stand
What's wrong with me tonight?
And to the republic for which it stands,
One nation under God,
Indivisible, with
and
liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
for all. Thank you.
Getting dementia. Sorry.
No, you're not. Okay, thank you. So do we have any reordering of agenda items?
move to approve the agenda.
Second,
Second,
okay. Can we get the roll, please? Mr. Buckenheim?
And Trustee Gomez,
Aye.
Trustee Chen Lao,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Thank you very much. Do we have any introductions and recognitions at this time?
We do. I'd like to have Armine Derdarian, who's there on the screen. Armine is our new Career Technical Education Dean. Her first day was on Monday. So I just wanted Armine to introduce herself.
Good evening. I'm Armina Derdarian, and I'm just so thrilled to be a part of the Pasadena City College family. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I toured today the programs that I will be overseeing, and I was just very impressed with what I saw. I love that it is very learning based and learn as you do. And I'm just really looking forward to using my talents to see how I can propel our career education programs forward to increase our visibility, our student learning, and our student employment. So again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
And I just want to add that she's a fellow Trojan dentist by training. So fight on, baby, fight on. Thank you, Armine.
I'd like to welcome you, and we hope to have you here for a long time. Career technical education is very dear to PCC. So, you know, we got to have our eyes on you, right?
Yeah.
Do your job, girl. Welcome.
Thank you.
Any other introductions?
Yes, Alex, you're going to do an introduction of sorts.
Thank you. I just want to share a development on campus, and I will share my screen to show it. See a picture of a tree at the moment? Yes?
Yep.
Great, thank you. This is a tree we planted this summer. What came about from the college as a way to remember those members of our community who passed away from COVID-19, either friends or family or members of our families. It's basically a way for our community to come together and reflect on those we've lost at a time when so many have lost things. This stands next to the Veterans Memorial Wall in the middle of Lancers Pass, and we hope that it'll be a place to gather for years forward for people to remember and pay tribute to the time we've had getting to today and beyond. I want to give a shout out to the facilities crew for making this happen, especially our groundskeepers and Linda Valencia and Richard Larrett, and also to Dr. Carrie Boland for helping oversee this. We hope to make this a spot for remembrance for years to come. Thank you.
That was a very, very thoughtful gesture. When my husband passed away, I was encouraged to plant a tree. And what's amazing is that every 4th of July, because that was his favorite time of the year, every 4th of July, this tree give out flowers. So it always reminds me of him. I think this is very special. Whoever had that thought, I think that was very meaningful. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, do we have any public comment on non-agenda items?
We do. I am going to get set up here briefly. Pardon me. Okay, we have a range of public comments today, some written that I will read and some from people who have joined us. I will be calling their names. Given the quantity, Madam Chair, I wonder if you might see fit to waive the 15-minute limit on public comment on non-agenda items. I just wonder if that's a possibility at this meeting.
I am wondering, I think we could go to a flat 30 minutes, period.
Thank you. That should be doable. Then let me get arranged here so I have the timer ready. And in a moment, we will welcome Melissa Michelson, Stacy Bradshaw, and Bevel Constantine in that order. So please hold. Okay, is Melissa Michelson in the Zoom? I do not see her. Stacy Bradshaw, I believe you are here?
Yes.
Okay, please hold and you will have 3 minutes to speak, starting now.
Thank you. My name is Stacy Bradshaw, and I'm an adjunct faculty member at PCC since 2015. I also teach at Mount Sac and Chaffey College, and I'm distance education certified at PCC, spot certified at Mount Sac, and distance education certified at Chaffey College. I have 2 comments today. One is about fake bot students, which I've previously written to Dr. E about, and also about some food for thought on decision-making on the board. So to the esteemed board. You may be aware of this problem with fake students. I wrote initially to the chancellor's office and to my dean about students that appeared in my class on the evening of July 16th. And there's about 20 students that I can identify that are fake. So my class shows full. The problem is that now a month has passed and we're 2 business days away from the beginning of the new semester. So I'm going to be sending welcome letters out to fake students. I'm going to be limited to add additional students to that class. And I have been asking for a while that these students be removed so that I can figure out how to market and get additional PCC students who need this class to be able to take this class. That's my comment about fake bot students. With respect to decision-making, I'll just reference something that happened 35 years ago, which is the action plan for the Challenger action report, which at that time was a 450-page House report. And what it discovered were two major findings. One is that NASA's drive to achieve a launch schedule created pressure throughout the organization to contribute to unsafe launch operations. But secondly, they found some other conclusions, which is that poor technical decision-making over a period of years by top NASA contractors who failed to decisively solve problems that involved increasing serious anomalies. So this is the first pandemic in 100 years. So no one expects the board to have all the answers. It's a very difficult time to be in leadership. But what is expected is that you examine your decision-making processes in light of the serious anomalies that exist on campus, to recognize that our society is examining issues of equity, where it doesn't matter what your good intentions are if the outcome is that you misuse power. So other campuses where I teach have been more inclusive of stakeholders earlier in the process than PCC has. And that meant they listened and collaborated early, and we didn't have to have this last minute decision on Form D, which I thank you for. But now I'm advocating for the decision tomorrow morning on non-instructional faculty. Thank you.
Next, we have, I believe it's Bevel Constantine. Forgive me if I'm messing up your name.
No, that's fine. Thank you for the opportunity to address the Board of Trustees. This is Professor Constantine. I have been an adjunct faculty member at PCC for the past 7 years. I also teach in the Eddie Community College District. As the chair of the Adjunct Faculty Issues Committee, I think it's part of my duty and responsibility to represent the adjunct faculty at Pasadena City College. And based on that, I wanted to address the Board of Trustees directly. We've been trying for many years to get health insurance, affordable health insurance options for adjunct faculty at PCC. And so far through negotiations, we have been unsuccessful. You know, health insurance is something that's very important, obviously, to everyone, but especially during the current pandemic. I think most of you would agree that adjunct faculty have done a lot of work in this transition to remote instruction, to keep the campus going, to keep providing for our students. And obviously, we would like to see affordable health insurance options for adjunct faculty specifically. I have been advocating for it for the past years in the Academic Senate, and I'm just trying to make a direct plea to the Board of Trustees to provide these health insurance options for us as adjunct faculty. In the remaining time, I would also like to mention that within the Academic Senate, it has been a goal for us to increase our African American student population from the current 3.8% to at least 10% as a first target. And this is something that we will also need the Board of Trustees support. I know that there are some webinars coming up this semester in which the issue of a lack of African American student population in universities and colleges will be addressed. But I think we need a task force, some direct initiatives with the assistance of PCC's administration, the Board of Trustees, the faculty, staff, and students. I definitely believe that collectively, if we work collectively, we can achieve the goal that we have to increase our African American student population at Pasadena City College. So I look forward to working directly with the Board of Trustees members, with our president, with our administration. And I think, you know, this is an opportunity for us to unify as a campus. And the stronger we are unified, the more we can achieve for African American students. And again, for health insurance options, affordable options for adjunct faculty. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Take care.
Thank you. Is Marjorie Smith? don't see Marjorie Smith in the room. I'll take a moment to clarify for the board and for the public that we have public comment on non-agenda items right now, and then there are a list of people who have submitted comment on an agenda item down the list. So there are others who will be called later in the meeting. I'm going to read a letter from Jita and Dory now. I probably murdered that name as well. This reads, when I queried my students, everyone who would be forced to go to the Foothill campus said they wanted online classes. Only one student, who was headed to the Colorado campus, said he would be happy to go in person. Just one. Of course, he is a teenager and eats chocolate cake for breakfast every day. I, no longer a teenager by half a century, would be risking my life to teach at Foothill. My superiors would be happy to know that I might need to take the semester off if we don't listen to the science. I was told by my immediate supervisor that I should be careful about forwarding our school's information about vaccination appointments because we didn't want to be seen as pushing vaccinations. I was told by my superintendent in March of 2020 to stop alarming your students because I demonstrated how long they needed to wash their hands for safety. I was incorrectly advised by my interim dean about how the cleaning of our campus was accomplished the night before. There's a surfeit of mendacity going around. That was from Jita and Dor. The next speaker on our list is Rhonda Williams. Rhonda Williams, if you are here. I do not see Rhonda Williams. The next speaker on our list is Benjamin Schuttman. He has submitted a letter that I'll read now. This is from Benjamin Schuttman. Dear PCC Board of Trustees, I am submitting this letter for comment. I am a student currently enrolled at PCC. I have some questions regarding PCC's vaccination proof policy. I have emailed this letter to a number of PCC administrative email addresses, and I have not received a response. I am submitting this to the board in the hope that it is included in the minutes and I receive a response. Number one, are these vaccine proof disclosures covered under PCC's academic integrity policy? If someone cheats on a test, they'll be reprimanded and face discipline. What happens if they cheat when it comes to proving their vaccination status? Number two, everyone I know who has received 2 vaccines has also received a secure digital link to prove their vaccinated status. Fake CDC cards can be generated with an app or bought off of Amazon. Why is PCC not asking for a verifiable form of vaccination status? Number 3, on the first day, is someone going to be checking to ensure that everyone who enters the classroom has submitted proof of vaccination status? Who is going to be gatekeeping to ensure that everyone in a classroom is compliant? I am immunocompromised. I also have a child who is not old enough to receive a vaccine. I am not trying to be difficult. These are very real concerns. I have been in classes where there has been rampant cheating, and it skews curves and negatively affects the grades of those who are not cheating. If someone cheats on proving their vaccination status, they are putting my safety in jeopardy, along with everyone else in the classroom, not to mention everyone they come into contact with on campus. The vaccination submission page makes no mention of these disclosures being covered under any of PCC's integrity policies. What is to dissuade someone from cheating on these disclosures? I want to get through this semester with as few disruptions as possible. I realize that I will probably not have my concerns addressed and that I need to pick my battles, but this policy seems like it has a number of blind spots that potentially affect my personal safety. I would be remiss if I did not share my concerns. Thank you for your time, Benjamin Schuttman. Our next speaker is Linda Gill. Linda Gill is not in the room. And our final speaker for non-agenda items is a letter from Jason Vasquez on behalf of the Association of Latino Employees. Hang on. That letter reads, to the Board of Trustees and Executive Management. We, the members of the Association of Latino Employees, would like to express our deep concern with the conditions by which our classified staff, professional experts, managers, and part-time staff work in giving the ongoing and ever-evolving COVID-19 pandemic. Part of our mission as an employee association is to advocate and respond to the needs of our community, and we, as an organization, feel the need to argue once again against our return to work beginning July 2021. Back in January 2021, former ALE president Carlos Tito Altamirano read the following. With students, workers, and loved ones being devastated on a daily basis, we implore the Board of Trustees and the campus community to hold a moratorium on the physical attendance of employees on campus. The Board of Trustees must minimize risk and prioritize the humanity of our employees who can work just as diligently and productively in a remote environment. It is indeed the humane thing to do. We once again feel the need to come before the board to demand a stop to the dehumanization and inequitable treatment of our classified staff, professional experts, managers, and part-time staff, especially as case of the highly contagious Delta variant are on the rise in Los Angeles County, and those of mixed vaccination statuses will be allowed on campus until September 30th. This gap in vaccination statuses endangers the lives of all those on campus before everyone can be fully vaccinated. To ensure equity among all employees and to minimize risk to those who are electing to be on campus, we highly recommend that employees be offered to work in a remote environment as they have done successfully over the last 17 months. We implore you all to consider the physical, emotional, and cultural devastation to our campus community should this inequitable treatment continue. That is all of the comment we have for non-agenda items. The rest that we've received will be dealt with at the appropriate item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Buckenhart. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for business meeting number 5, July 21st. Do I have a motion?
First.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, thank you. Can we have the roll call, please?
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Abstain.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee
Yes.
Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 6 ayes, 1 abstention, and student trustee votes aye.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the board committee reporting out information item. Do we have any committee reporting out? I'm sure we do. No board committee reporting out? Something went wrong here. No, do we have any committee reporting out today? Apparently not. No?
No.
Okay. So we'll go to item number 10, update on DEI.
And Dr. Carrie Bolin has a quick update for us.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So we've got a few irons in the fire. The two that I want to highlight tonight is kind of under the requirement that all students pursuing an associate degree take a 3-unit ethnic studies class within one of the 4 core ethnic studies disciplines, and obviously in the spirit of fostering learning of histories and contributions of non-white racial and ethnic groups, we have brought on board Susie Ling, Associate Professor in the Social Sciences, as our Ethnic Studies Coordinator. I'm really excited to have her on board and her expertise and giftedness in this space. Some of the things that she's going to be working on is collaborating with faculty, subject matter experts, and C&I to revise course content to meet the criteria around Area F. There's some courses that are, positioned to be an option for our students to count towards that transfer, but we've got to get it up to snuff. So looking forward to her partnership with other faculty with that. She'll also be doing some research as to what other CCCs and institutions have in the way of ethnic studies programs and/or departments, and our efforts to create kind of a blueprint as we think about, future steps around building a department dedicated to the intersectional approach to critical race studies. And then last but certainly not least, she'll be promoting the social justice studies, the AAT program that we have. It explores and analyzes history, culture, and contemporary issues through the intersecting perspectives of race, ethnicity, gender, and economic inequality. So we want to make sure that our students know that we have that course and program available. I think the last piece was just the introduction of the new division. Pasadena City College is now home of the Division for Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Justice. So exciting. The work of the new division, kind of the short and long of it, is focused on the development and sustenance of social justice-driven institutional systems that foster equity-minded training, inclusive practices, and a community that embodies belonging. So we're so excited about that work. The cornerstones of that work will continue, or of that division will include bias and harassment prevention, non-discrimination in Title IX, teaching and education, community outreach, and certainly student equity, success, and advocacy. So looking forward to the work of the division in community with our campus and community partners. That's it for now.
Great. Any other report? I know Trustee Waugh, I was expecting to see those hands. And then we'll follow by Trustee Chinlaw. Then we'll go to Trustee Silver in that order.
Well, I just wanted to congratulate Dr. Bolin and just on a job just so well done, even though we're just starting and having established this this division. I think is really important, and kudos to Professor Ling for agreeing to take this on. Even though AB 1040 did not pass, I'm really proud to see that PCC is moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Trustee Chinlaw.
Thank you, Dr. Boland, for your update. Would you be able to provide a update on the DEI Council? I recall that there's still some work in formulating in the formation of the council. Would you just be able to share us where we are on that, please?
Yes, so similar to the last report out, we will be meeting September 24th. And we've gotten a great in our sort of second or 2.0 push for inviting, stakeholders to be part of that conversation at the table. We've gotten great response. So the idea is that we'll have representation from our academic divisions. We'll have representation from our classified and management as well as students. We'll have our first meeting for September 24th and really use that time to build out the charter and our agenda for moving forward. So I hope to share out, some more detailed information for you, if not during our September board meeting, certainly by our October.
Excellent.
Terrific. Thank you.
Trustee Silver.
I'm very happy to report that every member of the Board of Trustees has volunteered to take a piece of the DEI action that we've worked on statewide. And what is wonderful is that infuses DEI into the board as a whole instead of being a separate little apart group of people. So I'll just quickly read who's volunteered for what, if that's okay.
Please do.
Okay, for the search committee, we have Linda Waugh and Tammy Silver. Hiring practices, Linda Waugh. Mission statement, Jim Osterling. EEO plans, Sandra Chen Lau. Mentoring professional development, Tammy Silver. Exit interviews, Berlinda Brown, Linda Waugh, and John Martin. And faculty evaluations, Tony Fellow. Wow. Should I email this list to somebody?
You sure should. Send it to Mary so she could disperse it to everyone. So we all be accountable.
All right.
Excellent job, you guys. You're very persuasive. Okay, Trustee Martin.
Thank you. To me, one of the most important, if not critical, components of DEI and really just trying to reach students in our district is the replacement for the PCC Rosemead campus, which we know is on just a few years left. And I would appreciate, as part of this regular DEI report, I do know the administration is working on some things, but I would appreciate a brief update as part of this report every month so that we can keep our attention on this very critical part of what's so important to reaching some of the students that are at the core of exactly who we're trying to reach.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Martin. Trustee Waugh, your hands are still up.
Yeah, I was waiting for Trustee Silver to give her report so I could just follow up. So I'm really glad to see that all of our trustees have taken on put a stake in one of the action items for DEI. I did want to ask Dr. Boland, as you form the council, I know that you had talked about including community and all of our stakeholders, not just faculty and staff, but also I hope this is an opportunity for the trustees to also be involved in the discussion. And to that, I want to say that just remind everyone, I'm sure you've seen some of the flyers and there'll be more coming out, but September 23rd, we will be having our DEI town hall. It will be specifically on what action can districts move forward on. I also want to make a call out to any of our, to all of my fellow trustees that we are beginning statewide implementation of the DEI calls for action. So recommendations have been made across the state. These are still being sussed out, but we are now starting to look at how do we implement. We'll be working closely with the CEOs of one of the leads of the CEOs is our own Dr. Androgenis. But if any of our fellow trustees are interested in taking part in the statewide implementation, let Trustee Silver or myself know, and we will certainly include you in those groups.
Thank you. Okay. Next, Trustee Chenal, you have your hands up.
Yes, I do appreciate Trustee Silver's effort in getting all her fellow colleagues involved with DEI. And one of the issues that we talked about is to look at how the college conducts its business in terms of contracting and vendors through a DEI lens. So for example, if we're looking at engaging with a law firm or with a financial institution, are we going to look at these institutions, DEI initiatives and DEI efforts to make sure that they're either aligned with ours or that they have their own DEI efforts? And we did not decide on whether there will be an additional committee on that. And I would like to see whether this topic is going to be included as part of the DEI Council, or if this would be a board type of a committee.
I don't think it would be, I don't think it would be part of the council. The council is that whether or not we're contracting with a certain group of attorneys is not work for the council to do.
Sure. Okay.
And we are looking at all of our, based on a suggestion you made, we're going to research all of our current, for example, law firms that we do business with.
Right.
But it's important to note that we have ongoing cases with law firms, and we have a pretty broad bench. So I think it's important for us to know what the specifics are of each firm and to understand where they're coming from. And I think it's important for us to also have an idea about vendors and all of that.
Yes.
So it's a big picture.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not expecting this to be done tomorrow or in the next month, but I would like for this to be part of our DEI discussion moving forward, however that may be framed or however that will be implemented.
Okay, let's go our next item. I don't think there are any other questions.
No.
Well, I had one.
Where are you?
Sorry, I'm up here in the corner.
Sorry.
Hiding in the corner. I would just say that when you're talking about some of these positions that you just mentioned, some of these attorneys, and I know from being somebody in a similar position to our administration that has to work in a business level with some of these attorneys, there's some very deep considerations that go on in deciding who you're going to work with on which case. Absolutely. And that are very critical. And I don't really want to tie the administration's hands on picking who they need in particular cases based on any kind of filter. I think they need to have a lot of reign because there's just so many unique circumstances that center on each of these that are critical. So I, for one, though, information is fine, but I, for one, am going to support making sure the administration has all the flexibility they need to pick whoever they need to fit the case and the circumstances that we're involved with.
Thank you, Trustee Martin. Okay, we are now going to move to item D, combined consent calendar. So we are going to go for approval of consent item calendar E1 through G12. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Questions, whatever? If not, we will ask for the vote.
I believe, sorry, this was 1 through 12, correct?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand.
Oh, sorry. I didn't use the
you have
emoji thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just was wondering about item number 6, and I think it's So there is in the recommendation there is purchase orders ending in 1918, 1660 missing from the attachments. I just wanted to make a note of that.
All right. So you didn't get item 16, you said 16?
Oh, I did, but within the purchase orders, there's 2 purchase orders missing from what the recommendation is stating.
Okay, I think, Candace, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are these blanket purchase orders that we already? I think Candace.
I'm actually not sure which item he's referring to.
I'm referring to item, sorry.
Take your time. We got time.
Perfect, thank you. So item G6.
Okay.
So there was an attachment there was 2 attachments, purchasing transactions and change order lists. But what I noticed was just that the purchase orders began at P220002. There's nothing that begins with P210.
Okay.
So I'm not sure we
So
have
that
to
makes
table
sense.
the.
No, let me explain the purchase order numbering system. So all the P22 simply means which fiscal in. So we have just moved over to the new fiscal year, which is our 21-22. So anything with a P21 is actually last fiscal year. And it's potentially that we're just closing out that item.
Okay.
But all of these should start with P22.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
And we encourage you to ask questions. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay?
Great.
So
Thank
now,
you very much.
are we ready to take a vote?
Yes.
I think we already have a first and a second, and we had, so Mr. Buckingham?
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee Chin-Lau.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we will go to, I think next is H, right?
Yes.
And at this time, the student does not vote on this one. So we will go H224, is that correct? Do we have any questions?
Motion to approve?
Thank
Second.
you. We have a second. We have a second by Trustee Waugh. Okay, any questions or thoughts? If not, Mr. Buckingham, please take the vote.
Trustee Chin-Lau.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee not voting on this item.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is action items recommended for approval. I. Number 1, adopt resolution 692, approve GAN appropriation limits for 2021-22. Do we have a presentation or do we just approve it?
No,
This is
you-
standard procedure, right?
It's
Yep.
procedural. Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any questions? If not, we will take the vote. Mr. Buckingham, please.
Student trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee Chin-Lau.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Thank you. Our next agenda item is Board Policy 5500, Standard of Student Conduct. Do we have any discussion or any questions on this? Does our student have any comment?
I'd like to motion to approve.
Thank
I
you.
second.
Thank you. Okay. We will ask Mr. Buckingham to please take the roll call.
Student Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Thank you. We'll move next to approve modification of the credit curriculum, item 3. Do we have any questions or do we have a motion?
Motion
So
to
moved.
approve.
Oh,
Second.
Motion to approve, and we have a second. If there are no questions, we will call for vote.
Student trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Aye.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, so item number 4.
Madam President, if I
Yeah.
could interrupt, is it possible to do one roll call vote for items 4 through 7? It's not. Okay, thank you.
Good try, though.
So before, Trustee Brown, before we consider the next item, I believe this is where we need to have Alex tell us about public comment related to this item.
That's right. Okay, Alex, it's on you.
Thank you. We have public comment for this item. I have 7 items I will read, and I have 1 speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will start the reading. The first is from Erin Shaw. She writes, "To whom it may concern, I am not teaching CS 045 this fall, but submit this comment in support of the professor who will be teaching it. I taught PCC's CS 045, Discrete Structures with Computer Science Application, 5 unit, in the fall of 2020 and also in the spring of 2021. Both semesters were taught online. In the spring, the lectures were synchronous and the labs were asynchronous. In my opinion, the class can be effectively taught online and only lacks a Form D because it has not been recently updated. Regards, Erin Shaw, Ed D. MS, Adjunct Faculty, Pasadena City College." The next letter is from Sarah J. Black. "I have taught over 50 courses at PCC over the past decade. I am strongly urging that PCC reinstate the emergency use of Form D so that every instructor who wishes to can teach their classes remotely this fall. This is due to official reporting that vaccines are only 48 to 72% effective against the new variants, which now make up 99.8% of COVID cases in the US. Our lives, health, and safety should not be predicated upon a form. Some of us, myself included, have long-term complications from COVID and also are immunocompromised and/or have immunocompromised family members. Please do what is right and protect faculty and students. Best, Sarah Black, Adjunct Speech Instructor." The next letter is from Iris Fiorito. "Dear Board, due to the seriousness of the circumstances created by COVID-19 in our everyday life environment, and due to the uncertainty, insecurity, erroneous information, and many other negative conditions arising from this novel illness, I would like to request that all classes at PCC that were taught online be continuing online until we all feel and believe to be completely safe from contracting the infection teaching face-to-face. Thank you very much for your attention. Professor Iris Fiorito." The next letter is from Yvette Saman. "To whom it may concern, I am an assistant professor teaching non-credit ESL. I have concerns about returning to face-to-face teaching. I am 66 years old. I have a health vulnerability. My daughter will have a newborn and I will need to be healthy to take care of the baby. The teaching quality of F2F is going to be poor since we cannot have group or pair work. Online is a better environment since the students can see my expressions and go to the breakup rooms. I don't trust a system that is willing to jeopardize the well-being of teachers and staff just because of a formality, Form D. Thank you, Yvette Saman." The next letter is from Marina Gonzalez. "My name is Marina Gonzalez and I'm a counselor. As a counselor, I would like to have the ability to work remotely from home. The following are the reasons I think this should be considered. I believe in a student and worker safety first approach in the district's decisions on how to proceed for fall. I do not feel it is safe for students or counselors to come to campus in the L Building counseling office. As an equity-minded campus, allowing counselors to work remotely from home would be an equitable policy, given that most instructional faculty have been given this option. Counselors are faculty too, and should be allowed the same options. As a mother to a 6-year-old who cannot get vaccinated, and with a recent cancer diagnosis of my own, going to work during treatment and catching COVID specifically could be devastating for me. One final piece that I feel the strongest about is student access to counselors. Pasadena City College Counseling Department has been known pre-COVID to have 2 to 6 hour wait times for drop-in counseling. Additionally, the majority of students at PCC cannot get a one full 45-minute appointment in general counseling because we are such a small team who play various roles on campus. I am deeply concerned about the prospect of even more limited access for students during the fall, based on what has happened this summer. Our campus cannot afford for our counseling department to reduce student access even more. This should be our main consideration for allowing counselors to work remote. As an example, since our return on July 19th, due to childcare and COVID-related quarantines, I have not been able to work a full day. I have never taken this much time off during summer during our registration peak time before. I usually take my contractual days off during the slow days and the slow times of the year to have the least impact on student access to counseling. I also need to pre-plan for possible quarantines from any possible PCC exposure and my daughter's K-12 exposure. There is currently no way to tell if my daughter's school will return to remote learning now or come during the expected additional winter holiday surge. If I ended up needing these days off, I will eventually have to begin taking leave without pay. I am certain I am not the only one who will be in this situation, and it could be devastating for workflow and student access. Remote work would allow for myself and others to keep working despite quarantines and remote elementary. Once again, I feel very strongly that returning to work in person under these circumstances has been and will continue to be the wrong direction for our student access to counseling. It's Marina Gonzalez from counseling. The next letter is from Kenneth Simon, a librarian. Dear members of the board, I am a librarian at the Shatford Library. We librarians are all faculty members. PCC librarians and our library workers have always worked to make our services accessible to students at the point of need. This did not change when the building was closed. We offer many services: books, textbooks, and e-resources, in-depth research consultations, and library research sessions for entire classes. We have never ceased to offer these services. We did adapt to offering them fully online. We are looking forward to a time when students can once again enter the library building as a safe access point to in-person assistance and as a place to study. However, the library and those of us who work here have not been considered in planning and MOU negotiations during recent months. For example, librarians were taken by surprise when, on the evening of June 30, we were given 2 working days notice just before the long July 4th weekend that we would be required to return to our offices full time. At that time, we had never volunteered to return and reopen, despite any statements to the contrary. With such short notice, those of us with childcare responsibilities had no opportunity to make arrangements. We were also not included with counselors when their 4-day-a-week on-campus work schedule was recently negotiated. Unlike our instructional faculty colleagues, since our return, we have not been granted the ability to determine hybrid work schedules, so we must be present on campus even when doing the portions of our work that we have successfully done remotely for over a year. As faculty members, we ask for an MOU that gives us parity with our colleagues in being able to determine a hybrid work schedule. Now we are preparing to open the doors for the fall semester. We have been given no guidance as to how to protect PCC students and ourselves in light of the fact that the Shatford Library building is traditionally open to the general public. We have no mechanism by which to require vaccinated status to enter. We do not have the staff or the support to enforce masking rules or capacity limits in the library. We have not even been supplied with masks to hand out to people who enter without one. We've already faced problems with masking non-compliance during the limited opening that was sprung on us this summer. Until campus is once again able to fully reopen without masking and vaccination requirements, access to the Shatford Library should be limited to PCC students, staff, and faculty. This will help ensure that the library remains as safe as our classrooms for our students. We should open with limited capacity to mirror the limited capacity of classroom spaces. That limited capacity should be reserved for our vaccinated students and not public patrons. Successfully implementing these temporary access limits will require the staffing and infrastructure to make it possible. As the start of the fall semester rapidly approaches, we ask, what is the plan to support the safe operation of the library? The Shatford Library is a common area for students in all disciplines and a resource for students in need of research assistance and materials. As such, the library, its faculty, and staff need to be kept in mind so we can offer an accessible, safe space as our students return. We need to be included as MOUs are negotiated and policies are instituted. The health and safety of the PCC community is at stake. Sincerely, Kenneth Simon, librarian, Shafford Library. The next letter is from a group of counselors, and it reads, Dear Superintendent President Dr. Andrew Jonas and the Board of Trustees, on behalf of the counseling faculty, we would like to address the counselors' return to campus plan, inclusive of the recent MOU for fall 2021 and any future ongoing negotiations. We hope our voice will help strengthen our argument for tomorrow's meeting. Despite PCC's culture and mission in being equity-minded, the negotiated mandate for counseling faculty to return to campus for 4 days and offer in-person services for a required percentage of assignment this fall 2021 is counter to this for the following reasons. Although the intent may be to increase counselor access by having us on campus, the reality is that there has been an increase of canceled and rescheduled student appointments in the last 4 weeks since July 19th, our required return to campus. This is more than we have ever experienced in 2020 due to health and family care challenges experienced by counselors that have been brought on by COVID, Delta variant, and the return to campus order. This has both significantly impacted counseling workflow and has reduced students' access to counseling services, including the negative impact to the social emotional aspect of our team. In fact, in the remote setting, we have evidence of increased access and the ability to serve more students. There is now a clear disparity between instructional and non-instructional faculty. Instructional faculty are only being asked to be on campus if they elect to teach on ground. Given the fact that we do not see the same group of students every day and serve the entire campus community as well as prospective students, we are susceptible to more exposure that will, and already has, impacted the department, our families, and our students. The counseling department has lost 3 adjunct counseling faculty due to the return to campus and inability to work their assignment from home. This has directly impacted our student population with decreased access to counseling. Ultimately, non-instructional faculty are not being given the same freedom to choose to be on campus, despite being within the same employee classification. We want to reinforce that we too are faculty and our work impacts campus retention just as much as our instructional colleagues. We are unsure why our instructional counterparts were given the opportunity to decide their working environments for the fall term, yet we were not. Our negotiated 1 remote day per week may seem reasonable. However, it speaks volumes to us. It indicates something that we have always suspected, to be the lesser faculty on campus. Counselors are essential to student success, just like any other faculty in our district. As a collective, unified with our librarian and teacher specialist faculty peers, we ask that you center the identities and lived experiences of the members of our campus community, inclusive of instructional and non-instructional faculty. We ask that you consider the lengths we've gone through since March 2020 to adapt and provide quality services remotely while in a global pandemic that is still taking place, as well as the racially motivated violence that surrounds our Black, Indigenous people of color, faculty, staff, and students. We ask that you listen to our realities as counseling faculty and that you use this to inform not only practices, but policies amidst a global pandemic and a safe return to campus. Centering them gives you an opportunity to be a responsive, equity-focused institution that aids in the capacity building of our students and those who serve them. The following is our list of demands in hopes to limit exposure to COVID and ensure the safety of students, staff, and faculty. Number 1, a hybrid schedule. We are asking for the librarian, teacher specialists, and counseling faculty to also have the option of conducting services remotely from off campus, just as instructional faculty have been given the same option for their assignments this fall 2021. Number 2, if a counselor elects to provide in-person services, they must begin after the September 30th deadline to submit proof of vaccination or exemption. And then it is signed by a number of counselors. I will read their names: Ingrid Arana, Lily Tran, Dr. Miriam Altunji, Brian Joseph Pangan, Emily Cheng, Anna Yancy Trejo, Armia Walker, Armina Papazian, Avisha Chugani, Blanca Hernandez Henderson, Dr. Carmen Stevens, Cassandra Lanier, Dr. Cecilia Medina, Charia Sok, Daniela Hernandez, Desiree Ramirez, Desiree Zuniga, Dr. Gina Lopez, Elizabeth Martinez, Elizabeth Nicho, Harry Bloodgood, Elena Yarso, Yvette Rosas, James Aragon, Jeff Hupp, Jennifer Flores, Juan Pablo Carrion, Linda Tai, Lizardi Velasco, Lori Gabrielian, Marina Gonzalez, Dr. Maribel Morales, Megan Mercado, Dr. Mercedes Ramirez, Monica M. Contreras, Philip Lance, Rohan Desai, Sarah Miranda, Charisse Azar, Stephanie Martinez, Talene Seropian, Kenneth Quintanilla, and Yvette Valdez. The next public comment is from Danielle Rapui. I'm sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce your name, pardon me, but she is in the room with us, so please go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much. Can I turn on my video? Is that okay?
Please be, yeah.
It says that I'm disabled.
Let me fix that for you.
Okay.
There you are.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm Danielle Rapu, a faculty librarian at PCC Library. Foremost, I would like to voice my alignment and support with my colleague Ken Simon's statement to this board. And I would also like to voice that I am worried about the level of guidance about the following reopening policies of PCC. With the rises of cases in the Delta variant, my concerns are getting heightened by the day as we get closer to opening the library this coming Monday. The staff of the library has asked multiple times for leadership guidance on how we are to enforce the 50% capacity in the library building, and we have yet to be offered or collaborated with on solutions. At this point in time, we have no supported protocol for ensuring that those entering the library are adhering to health guidelines provided by PCC, including the daily health survey or vaccination status. It has not been made clear whether we can ask library users if they are vaccinated after the deadline in September, when it is required to be vaccinated to be on campus. It has also not been made clear if staff and faculty are included in the 50% capacity count. Without limited library entrance to the PCC community, this leaves potential for students to be limited or denied access because members of the public may be taking up spaces in the library counting towards that 50% capacity. We are not a public library. We are an academic library that provides limited services to the public. Please require that the PCC library should be limited to the PCC community of enrolled students, staff, managers, and faculty to better serve our community. The Ed Code clearly states that our purpose is to serve the students. During the summer, the library was open for the 6-week session, and we had weekly instances of non-compliance with masking. One irate and stressful incident required the involvement of campus PD. We have received no training on how to de-escalate these situations and little support on how to safely enforce these requirements. During the entire 6-week session, we were not provided with PPE for our unmasked library users. Only today were we told that masks would be available for the coming semester. There is currently no known protocol for the library staff if we are exposed to COVID. Will we be notified if there is an exposure? Will the space be temporarily closed or disinfected? How will we know that we have been exposed? Multiple library staff have children who cannot be vaccinated or immunocompromised persons in their household. Without advanced decisions before COVID cases, we are setting ourselves up for further panic and undue stresses if an outbreak occurs. I plead with this board to please make a recommendation at this time that entry to the library may be made only available to the PCC community until mask and vaccination requirements are lifted campus-wide. 2 of my family members have passed away from COVID, and others in my department have been deeply impacted by COVID. I hope this board can please help us stay safe. Thank you.
I like that.
That concludes public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Buckingham. So now we will move to item number 4, approve of the Memorandum of Understanding between Pasadena Area Community College District and Pasadena City College Faculty Association regarding the return to campus agreement for semester 2021. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, I think I see 2 hands up. Let's have Trustee Martin followed by Trustee Sandra Chinlaw.
Thank you. Just a point of clarity to make sure I'm reading this correctly and for the public. What this MOU covers many topics centered on safety, and the center of which is that everyone on campus will be vaccinated to help protect all those that do come to campus. What I don't believe is in the MOUs is whether classes will be in person or online. But if the course is in person, all those in the classroom will be vaccinated. And I'm just, for clarity and for public knowledge, just trying to separate that point on these MOUs.
Thank you, Trustee Martin. Trustee Chenlaw?
Yes, I would like to thank the faculty and the staff for bringing forth their concerns to the board. I think many have spoke passionately about their concern of safety and health. And certainly speaking as an individual trustee, I certainly take their concerns very seriously, especially under these circumstances. And I do appreciate the way that the discussion has been related to the board, and certainly the effort by both the faculty and the administration to come to a consensus of what is acceptable to both. So thank you for all your efforts.
Okay, so it's time for us to take our vote. Mr. Buckenham?
I have a point of clarification. Is this a personnel item without a trustee vote, Dr. Andrews?
Yep,
I think
it is.
Yes, it is. Sorry about that.
That's okay, thank you. So Trustee Chenlaw,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The item passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda 5, approve the memorandum of understanding between Pasadena Area Community College District and California School Employees Association and its Pasadena Chapter 777 CEA regarding the supplemental agreement for fall semester 2021. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, so we are ready for vote. Mr. Buckenham?
Trustee Chenlaw,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye. Aye.
The vote is 7-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of memorandum of understanding between Pasadena Area Community College District and Pasadena City College, California Federation of Teachers, Local 6525 CFT, regarding the supplemental agreement for fall semester 2021. Is there a motion?
I motion.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we will take a vote. Mr. Buckenham?
Trustee Chenlaw,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee not voting on this item.
Thank you. Item number 7, approve the memorandum of understanding between Pasadena Area Community College District and its Police Officers Association regarding the supplemental agreement for fall semester 2021. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Trustee Chenlaw,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee not voting on this item.
Thank you. Item number 8, approve the memorandum of understanding between Pasadena Area Community College District and Pasadena City College Faculty Association regarding coaching stipend for fiscal year 2021. Is there a motion?
So
I
moved.
move. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, we're ready for vote, please.
Trustee Chenlaw,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
Vote is 7-0 with the student trustee not voting on this item.
Thank you very much. We're working you very hard tonight, Mr. Buckenheim.
Happy to
Okay,
help.
item J, informational items. You get a break. Superintendent, President report.
Okay, great. Thank you, trustees. So fall term starts on Monday. It's hard to believe. It's right around the corner. Lots of activity in these final days, both online and face-to-face here. We have our professional development day on Friday, and it is a great chance for us to celebrate our community, what brings us together as the term starts. We are doing it both face-to-face and virtually. And we're trying to make sure that we meet everybody's needs. I want to thank the Professional Development Committee and Jason Robinson and Nick Hatch, who are the chairs, and everyone else who made this event a reality. We have an opening session at 9 o'clock and then breakout sessions. The 9 o'clock is, we don't have a keynote this time. We've got a lot of information we're going to be sharing. One thing I'm going to be talking about is, we have the PRT, the Partnership Resource Team project that we're working on right now. And we'll talk a little bit about that during the opening day or professional development day. And in the spirit of trying to increase collegiality, one of the best ways to increase collegiality is for people to actually know who they're talking to. It's kind of like when you go to Disneyland or lots of companies, they have you know who you're talking to because you have a name tag. So what people will get either in person or in their mailbox or what have you is we had name tags made for every single person on campus that has their name and what office they work in. And at the bottom, it says serving PCC students since, and it's the day they started working in the college or the year they started working in the college. So mine says serving PCC students since 2019. And I have to give a big shout out, even though she retired before this happened, Ani Dodge, who retired in June, not too long after I got here, really wanted to encourage having a picture book of all the faculty and staff, which apparently they have for many years. And said, oh, wouldn't it be great if people could actually talk to each other and knew what their name was? So Ani's not here, but we do have the name tag. So we're excited and everybody's going to have that. And we do a recognition ceremony in the spring as folks reach 5-year increments. So from this point forward, you have your initial tag. And then as you reach the next 5-year milestone, you'll get a brand new tag that says how long you've been serving students. And as you know, we have a vaccine program for employees and students. By September 30th, everybody needs to submit proof of the vaccines or vaccine requirement or request an exemption. And just so you know, at this date, we have over 4,000 students who have uploaded their vaccine information. And we also have over 700 employees that have done so. And we have employed a third-party vendor that is going through the verification process. They are registered nurses who have access to public health batch or lot numbers of vaccines. So that's how they're going through to make sure that the vaccines are, that there's no fraud involved with the vaccines. So we are making a note of that, and we're very happy. We're pleased with how it's going, and I predict lots more vaccination records coming our way. We also have some vaccine clinics in the Circadian coming up Friday from 11:15 to 1:15. Tuesday, August 24th from 2 to 6, and Tuesday, August 31st from 2 to 6. We have had a PCC Block Party in effect since last Thursday, and this is something that I sponsored from the president's office. So last Thursday, we hosted 2 food trucks, Fat Boys and Rice Balls of Fire, and we gave all faculty and staff and administrators who are here on campus, and actually students got in on this too, an opportunity to come out and get a burger or a variety of Asian fusion, all kinds of awesome Asian food. And we had big Connect 4 games, big Jenga, we had hand sanitizer everywhere, tables, it was all spread out. And we did it over a 5.5-hour period so that we wouldn't have a rush. And lots of folks got covered in that. And over 500 faculty and staff and students got free food and a chance to relax outside. This morning was our Cinnabon truck was here, and we gave out over 500 big Cinnabon rolls, which were so awesome, along with 2 different types of coffee. And this coming Friday, we're going to have Big Nash ice cream in the afternoon. So folks here on campus can come by and get an ice cream. And it's just great to welcome folks back to campus with food and games. I just want to also point out that the Veterans Resource Center is providing support to our vets as the military leaves Afghanistan. It's a very complex situation, and there are lots of strong feelings. We have some of our own student vets served there, so there's a lot of feeling going on. So we are providing additional services to them. Tomorrow morning at 9:58 a.m., our student Janet Tang will present her paper at the online symposium sponsored by the Pacific Northwest National Laboratories. Her paper is entitled Understanding Corrosion, One Atom at a Time. And she is a finalist. The finalist for a national prize will be announced tomorrow afternoon. So lots of great things going on here. And that's it. That's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Andrew Jonas. And just want you to know that I appreciate the hard work you're doing. Would not want to be in your shoe.
Thank you.
Let's move on to announcement by, let's see, do we have the Academic Senate announcement today?
We do.
There she is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Gina Lopez, the new Academic Senate President. And I wanted to say that although the Academic Senate Board is currently not in session, the Academic Senate Executive Committee has been working with the Faculty Association and the district on behalf of the faculty during the global pandemic. And we look forward to continuing our advocacy for all PCC faculty. Furthermore, as PCC alum, counseling faculty, and Academic Senate President, I stand in solidarity with the counseling and non-instructional faculty in their quest for a more equitable solution that supports the health and safety of my colleagues. That's it.
Thank you, Jean. It's good to see you.
Likewise.
Classified Senate, do we have a report from Classified Senate?
Yes. Hi, my name is Audrey Joseph. I work in the Office of Academic Affairs and Instructional Support, and I am the newly appointed Board of Trustees representative for the Classified Senate. This is my second go around doing this, and I'm honored to be working in this capacity again. I have 3 quick updates for the board. The Classified Senate has successfully established a full board of ours. And a part of this onboarding process, we have participated in our annual retreat with our new recruits and our entire Senate body, which focused on goals, roles, and responsibilities of shared governance processes. We're also working to remain committed to appointing various individuals to college-wide committees to ensure classified representation campus-wide. And finally, with regard to the COVID pandemic, as it continues to shift and change, the Classified Senate is continuing to support and encourage the college in sharing information with our classified professionals. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a report from management?
Yes. Hi, I'm Rebecca Cobb. I'm the new Management Association President. And on behalf of Management Association, I want to let you know that the managers at Pasadena City College are demonstrating exemplary leadership in the midst of these uncertain and chaotic times. While many of us have concerns about the Delta variant and our own health and safety, we are also acutely aware of the devastating impact remote learning and services has had on our students, particularly those who are members of marginalized communities. For that reason, our managers will be here next week, as we have been for months, to celebrate and welcome our students back to campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb. Okay, so now we'll move on to associated students.
Hello. I first would like to thank you all
Still
again.
doing three? You're still doing 2 roles or 3?
Sorry?
Still doing 2 roles?
Yes, well, technically 4. But that's besides the point. I first would like to just address our student retreat that we've had. Today was our 3rd day, and tomorrow we will finalize the retreat. And I want to just share that I think it has been great for the board to kind of, not necessarily bond, but be vulnerable and expressing who they are. We're really getting to know each other, and more than anything, our implicit bias that exists. We're trying to just kind of all establish our mission as we get ready to also welcome students back. We actually worked on something I would like to read to you all. So with less than a week before fall semester weekends, we as the student body representatives would like to express our frustrations about the harm being done to students with the decision made regarding on-ground or online classes. Students will be affected mentally, financially, and academically, specifically the students navigating a marginalized system who need in-person instruction. Lack of in-person instruction is detrimental to their success. We also would like to acknowledge that we understand that some of our faculty are immune compromised or have a loved one who is. And we believe that they should do what is necessary to protect their well-being. But why weren't these decisions made earlier? Also, we would like to offer our solidarity and support to all of non-instructional faculty who contribute immensely towards PCC's student-driven mission. You are not alone, we are a community. Personally, for me, I had serious reservations about returning to a fully online learning experience based on my academic experience last year. I can empathize with students who struggle with online classes because I am that student. Despite all of the resources and support that I had, I still struggle. Can you imagine how students without resources must feel? As a student, I challenged the college to live up to their commencement motto and truly be student-driven. And that's all I would like to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a report as a trustee, or is that the same one?
No, I do have one. So I would like to just report that I attended the student trustee workshop last week, where we had roughly about 50 student trustees. And, I was able to kind of pick their brains and get some information as to how I can prepare myself and be ready to, onboard a new student trustee once they're elected. And, kind of just shared how we're all, my main thing was trying to get to know how they communicate and collaborate with their elected officials, as well as, how is their college addressing COVID-19 vaccinations and, all of this. Also, I also want to share that with one of the workshops on leadership practices inventory, I got to know a little bit more about myself and how, even though I've lived through the struggle, I can say that I've also been biased in a lot of, my points of views, but those are just I can't change the way I was raised, but I'm conscious enough of how I can move forward. And I thought that was one of the main benefits for me out of this workshop. I've also registered for the student trustee retreat by SSCCC, and that will be this Saturday. It's a virtual, they have a virtual agenda. So I'll be doing that this week. And that's it. Thank you.
Very good report. Keep up the good work. Okay, now we'll turn to our fellow trustees. Now let's see who's first. I don't see my trustees. Where did they go? Okay, let's hear from Trustee Martin. Do you have a report?
No report, thank you.
Okay. About trustee, I don't see anyone. Trustee, where are they? Are they missing? I'm missing my fellow trustees. Trustee Wall.
Okay, well, I sent my report in, but just a quick reminder that on September 23rd, we will have the DEI Trustee CEO Town Hall. All stakeholders from the district are invited, so I hope you will all attend, as well as my fellow trustees, and of course, our CEO. A reminder that ACCT did extend the early bird registration for the Congress, which is meeting in San Diego on October 13th to the 16th. And we will be having elections for the Pacific region and the Senate. So we need all of our California districts to attend, and we need every delegate, voting delegate from each of those districts there. We will also have a presentation jointly with Washington, California and Washington on DEI and moving forward. And Dr. Andrew Jonas will be one of the presenters talking about gender equity for our Women's Caucus. In November, we will also have the League annual convention. So please put that on your calendar, November 16th to the 19th. And then I just want to give a shout out to Alex Buckelheide for working with our students from Region 5 on the PSA to encourage students to get vaccinated. So hope to see that soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Chenla.
Yes, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dean Russell and Dean Torres Retena for their work in securing a Mandarin 1 and 2 teacher for La Cañada school district, and especially in such a short time frame. They were able to secure the teacher. So now there are 55 students who were enrolled in the Mandarin classes that can enroll in dual enrollment, thanks to the efforts of the Dean Russell and Dean Torres Martena. And also thanks to a longtime, Chinese teacher, Kathy Wei, who will be working with her new colleague to ensure that, the classes will run smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Osterlin.
No report.
Oh, I'm gonna fall in the back on my chair. My chair is going backwards.
I think that is unprecedented.
That's what happened when we traveled to Europe. Yeah.
I do have a question or a request, though, and that would be, could we get an invite sent to us for the upcoming town hall, Linda?
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Trustee Silver.
Nothing to report.
Oh, this is getting scary. Steve Fallow.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't know if you know, I'm a friend of Dr. Cynthia Oliva on Facebook, and I saw a note on her page today that saddened me, and I asked her if I could relate this evening. And what I'd like to do is request that we adjourn this evening in memory of Tammy Jimenez. She was a very close cousin to Dr. Cynthia Olivo. Miss Jimenez, like her cousin, had a position in education. She was principal of St. Hyacinth Catholic Academy in San Jacinto, the city where she grew up. And she has she was not only Dr. Olivo's cousin, but they were inseparable since childhood, from kindergarten to high school. They were cheerleaders. One was a captain, one a co-captain in high school. And they also attended the same college together. She died of leukemia at the age of 48 this week. And she was diagnosed with the disease about 4 years ago. I just want to wish, I'm sure we all wish the Jimenez and Oliva family our deepest sympathies. This has been a very tough year for the Oliva family, as they have suffered many deaths and health problems, and we just wish them all of God's blessings. Thank you.
I would like to go just a little further. Dr. Oliva has been very, very good to PCC. She's an excellent worker. She's very, personable, and I think this board owe it to her at least for a card. Cynthia is a good employee, and I think we as a board should just let her know that we feel her. So maybe off the record, we can do something and just encourage her. We all need encouragement at some point in her life, and I would like us to encourage Cynthia. I've seen too many things on Facebook about Cynthia. Okay, so seems like we are pretty much close to finish. This is almost too good to be true. Okay, let's see, future board business meeting dates.
So if I can say, we will be doing a doodle poll to figure out what day you all want to do your retreat, when you can do your self-evaluation. Mary has been on vacation the last since this week. So as soon as she's back, I will provide some of those dates that Helen Benjamin gave me and send it out so that we can get a time identified.
Yeah, we really need to get on that because we're almost late. So I want to thank each of you for staying on the timeline. You guys were very good. I got the self-evaluation. We're moving forward, and I appreciate you guys, how you have done. So I'll be looking forward to that. And let's see, any changes on our board meeting schedule, or are they all just?
No.
Yes, okay. I see a few of you will be going to ACT, where is it? ACT? Is that where you'll be going?
Right.
Yes, Linda, where are you guys going? I saw Linda, I saw Tammy, and I think Erica. I see Erica and Mr. Osterlin. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Osterlin.
Yes. So that is good. We got good representation. Let's keep up the good work. Let's participate into those meetings, and I need to shut up quick. So any future agenda items do we have?
I do have 2 items.
What are they?
President Brown. Berlinda, I have 2 items.
Okay, what are they?
Okay. So we need to appoint 2 voting delegates to the ACCT. We will have elections both for the Pacific region as well as for the at-large positions through the Senate. So at the September meeting, I think that we should appoint 2 delegates, 2 voting delegates. So of the 3 trustees who are attending, you can put that on the table. And then I believe Trustee Silver has indicated she was interested in putting her name in for the ACCT Policy and Advocacy Committee. So I have submitted her name. So she will need approval by the board. And I recommend, Tammy, if you still want to do that, then I recommend the board put that on the agenda for September.
Is that the nomination I was supposed to make?
Yep.
Well,
No, it's okay. No, that it's fine. I think what Trustee Waugh is doing is just citing that it should be on next month's board agenda. So you didn't need to do that. Okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm very proud of you, Ms. Tammy Silver. We appreciate your willingness to step up to the plate and be representing PCC. It's very important too. When we were first approached by then Trustee Mann to tap on Linda Waugh, and she explained how important it was, it made a lot of sense. When you have someone from your college in those positions, not only does it make your college look good, you are informed of everything that's going down. So I applaud you, and I'm happy that you have the time. And you came running, girl. You're hitting this ground like nobody's business. Not to mention, we have also, I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about Trustee Osterlin, which also stepped up to the plate. He really did a good job. In the last 2 years, he was out doing stuff, and we appreciate to have trustees that are willing to share, to learn, and to serve. That's the word. Trustee Chinlaw, and then we'll have Trustee Martin.
I have a question on the future meetings. Do you know if we're going to continue to be on Zoom past October, or we're going to need to be in person?
We will need to start meeting in person after September 30th. That's when the authorization for electronic Brown Act meetings ends per the governor, and that declaration came out towards the end of June, and Trustee Brown indicated that we would continue to meet electronically until it was no longer possible. So that ends September 30th.
There's some districts that are doing both hybrid and online, doing online and in person. Is that not an option for this board?
It's not an option after September 30th because you all need to be in the same place. Or let's say that you decided you were going to join electronically from your house because you didn't come to campus. We would have to post the agenda for the board meeting physically at your house, and you would have to be willing to have members of the public come to your house if you wanted to. So I don't recommend it. But you know, so it's not a hybrid sort of way.
I see. So outside of the governor extending this, we will be meeting in person in October.
That is correct.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Trustee Martin.
Thank you. I have 2 items that I was concerned about that I don't need to ask for because they're already being worked out through the administration and the food chain. And so I wanted to just express my appreciation. Item number 1 was some kind of remembrance of former Trustee Warren Weber, who in addition to being a longtime trustee, was also a longtime member of the PCC Foundation and just somebody who gave a majority of his adult life to PCC. So I appreciate there's a committee that's working on an appropriate recognition for him. And secondly, I don't know about you, but it's hard to go too long without somebody bringing up the topic of not enough plumbers, not enough electricians, not enough HVAC people. And so I've asked just to get a report what PCC is offering in these skilled trade positions to help in our way to help alleviate the future issue here, where there are some skilled trades that are making some really good money. They're in desperate need. And so I appreciate the administration has picked that up and somebody's working on it. We'll get a written report on that. And I'm just looking forward to getting that. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Osterlin?
Just a quick statement in support of what John Martin just said. I think it's really important that we beef up our construction industry CTE offerings. And I'm constantly approached by the mayor of Pasadena and others in the community. And I'll remind ourselves that a lot of times we have these projects in Pasadena that have a local component and we have a difficulty achieving those. And lastly, in support of this, a construction job is on site. It's not a job that can be outsourced to the Philippines or Bangalore or wherever. It's a job that has to be performed right here in Pasadena or LA County or the US, wherever the job is. Thank you.
I think Trustee Chen Lau has her hand up. Trustee Brown?
I think Berlinda may be off. Trustee
Yeah,
Chan.
so go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. One more is the update on the Mackenzie Scott gift. It may not need to be an agenda item, but perhaps part of the president's report on an update on the Scots gift.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Seems like you guys want to start the meeting over, but it's not going to happen. So we are going to adjourn this meeting in memory of, I think it's Cynthia Oliva's cousin. And I want to thank each of you for your time for a good meeting. And again, my heart goes out to the CEO of PCC, bless her soul, and for all the staff to have to navigate all these very challenging times. I think we're doing okay, but I would not want to be in your shoe or anywhere close. So this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.